Hi there, this is Mrs. Geisy back, and if you haven't yet watched my video on my access tips, that's actually the first part of this series on the Crucible paper that I'm trying to explain to my students. And some of what I'm going to talk about right now has to do with what I talked about in that previous video, so you might want to check that out first. But today we're going to talk about how to create a web for a 5-paragraph essay. It's really important to either web, outline, do a lot of brainstorming before doing a paper, because if you don't, your organization is going to be terrible, and you might just go on and on and on about something that's not really important to the main purpose of your essay and what the prompt's asking you to do. So creating a web or another organizational tactic is really key in order to not only make a better paper, but make the writing of the paper easier in the first place. And we're going to be using a essay that's on my access about reputation and Arthur Miller's The Crucible. And in the last video, we talked about what are that we need to use the same words that are in the essay in order to make my access like us the best. But then we also talked about, okay, using the prompt to decide what our body paragraph should be about. So if the prompt is telling you to talk about 3 different things, each one of those things should be a different body paragraph. That way you have automatic organization, and it makes it way easier to do a good job in your paper. We decided that our first body paragraph should be, think about how the theme applies to one or more of the characters. The second body paragraph should be about how do these characters feel about their reputation being tarnished. Third body paragraph, what are they willing to do to keep their good name? And because that's exactly what the prompt is asking us to write about, it's going to be a very clear paper. It's going to be easier to write. This is why we care about this. So first I want you to take out a sheet of paper. Oops. And I want you to write a box in the middle of your paper. This is where your thesis is going to go. The thesis is the main idea of your paper. Everything in your paper needs to be explaining or telling more about this main idea, the thesis. That's all thesis is. It's just a fancy word for main idea of your paper, what your paper's trying to prove. Then, in your paper, you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. Because you're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and remember we talked about how you're going to use the same things that the prompt is telling you need to talk about in your body paragraphs. I want you to write 1 for first body paragraph, 2 for second body paragraph, 3 for third body paragraph, and go ahead and write claim next to that. Now, if the thesis is the main idea of your whole paper, each body paragraph is going to start with a main topic sentence as well. And that's what your claim is. The claim is the topic sentence of the paragraph. So it would behoove you to go ahead and write your topic sentence before you even start your paragraph. That way you know what you're trying to prove. You know what the purpose of that paragraph is. And you don't write random stuff that has nothing to do with what your point is. Remember, the claim of this first body paragraph is supposed to be about, think about how this theme applies to one or more of the characters. Now, because that's what your paragraph is supposed to be about, if you don't use the word theme or you don't use your character's name, then you're not 100% on topic. So words to use. You want to use the word theme. You probably want to use the word reputation because that's what the theme is. You want to use the name of your character. We'll say Proctor is the name of my character. So again, you're writing one sentence that tells how the theme applies to one or more of your characters, using the word theme, the word reputation, and the name of your character or characters. I'll show you some examples here in a second. All right, this particular student, he's also writing about John Proctor, and his claim was John Proctor's reputation was tarnished when he admits to knowing Abby. That tells how the theme applies to Proctor. It uses reputation. I would probably tell him to also use the word theme in there. But that's a pretty good claim. Now your second claim, how do these characters feel about their reputation being tarnished? So you want to use feel or felt words. You want to use the name of your character. You want to use reputation and maybe tarnished or ruined. This student said, John Proctor feels horrible, so he was willing to kill himself to keep his name from being tarnished. That's pretty good. And then your third claim should talk about what are they willing to do to keep their good name. So they're willing to do what? The name of the character, and then good name are words that you want to use in your third claim. This student put, John Proctor is willing to die to keep his good name. Snap, good job. Now, for those of you who are my students, do not use the exact same claims as my student here. I will know I read his paper. So write your own, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what someone could write. There's probably hundreds of different ways you can write a claim. There's not just one way to write it. You want to use your own opinion and your own thoughts in order to come up with your idea. Now, these claims are going to be the first sentence of each of your body paragraphs. So this is the first sentence of body paragraph 1, this is the first sentence of body paragraph 2, and body paragraph 3. Now, your thesis is the main idea of your whole paper. So it should be a more general statement that gives the main idea of the whole paper. So all of these claims fit underneath it.